50% win rate after 5 maps for FURIA, and 50% win rate after 8 maps for Spirit. But again, the teams they've played, kind of hard to gauge how strong they are. Both teams have played it quite a bit, though, it's safe to say, and that's what Spirit can do.
It's going to paint you a little bit of a picture, but in this kind of a scenario, you kind of have to throw some of those out the window and say it's a cool barometer, it's a cool place to start with, but the pressure of qualifying for the Legend stage, or the new Legend stage of the Major, is an X factor in and of itself. Here we are, pistol round is live. 2 players in through Mini by Team Spirit. They really wanted to block off any kind of fast play towards door, and it also leaves them 2 bodies to cause some damage in this outside play. They can spam through the smoke if they choose to. They're starting to. A little bit of a tag onto Yuri, who was phenomenal for FURIA in the first half of Mirage. But these are the only 2 players down here. It's going to force a rotation. Dima's pretty committed to this lower bomb site. So I believe is Sophic, and actually, they're pulling a lot of rotation so quickly. Vinny's got 1. He's got a player who can turn around and radio him, but he's just going to take care of both. This is a huge win. Team Spirit get baited into giving up their positions and walking right into the waiting arms of FURIA.
Sophic, last man standing, will get the drop onto Keserato. Gets it clean as well, actually. Doesn't take any bullets in the process. He is the man wielding the defuse kit and has a HE at his disposal. If you can get this kill, things should get interesting, but Yuri's not going to allow that to come to fruition. So far, 3 pistol rounds played, and FURIA have picked up all 3 of them.
Which is probably the most damning stat if you're Team Spirit at the moment, playing for your life in this tournament. And a best-of-3 series, losing all the pistols so far does not bode well. They're going to invest in this next round, though. They don't want to give up a number on Mirage. They lost the pistol on their CT side, and then they won the second round, so a chance to do it again here, and a possibility. Be interesting to see where FURIA decides to go. Outside, they have the advantage of the range, wanting to use that to good effect. Although Davkos, he hits some nice scout shots on Mirage.
The jumping one in particular.
Yeah.
Onto Keserato. Last map, after FURIA picked up the first round, did go 7-0 to them before Team Spirit answered back. And with a force like this, Spirit could be in a bit of a predicament if they don't take this one down. FURIA already have Art in control room so quickly. Dima is here on the B side, laid in wait, hoping for a chance to strike. Also on the railing, really skews with the headshot angle, but it's going to go fine for Keserato. He's picked up 2 with his MAC-10, leaving Sophic and Davkos in a 2-on-4.
And they are nowhere close to being involved in this round. Way out of position. Sophic, I think, wants to chase down Keserato on the roof. I think that's just going to end up being a free kill for the MAC-10, free bonus money for Keserato. And Davkos, I guess at this point, you might as well try and save that scout. Nice trades for FURIA, handling some crossfires and some tricky positions in that lower bomb site as they enter in through the windows.
The scout would give them a little bit of a power spike going into round 3, but apart from that, it's going to be pretty barren on the Spirit side. As the bomb will detonate, signaling FURIA's 2-0 lead. Only Art taken down in the process for the Brazilians. Let's see if Spirit do decide to pick anything up alongside this scout. If it is, surely just pistols. Please don't force behind this.
That would be the ultimate bold play, wouldn't it? That would be the one where you're just like, this is uncomfortable. They do upgrade a couple pistols. Nade on Dima. Why not? Bring some element of danger into this round. Maybe a double nade can soften up a couple players. You never know what can happen with those. Scout outside and a stack in the upper bomb site, and once again, FURIA just going to run the same thing. 1 player in lobby, 4 players, fast-paced outside. Art's only got a USP, which means, much like the MAC-10, I mean, you can easily be the scout for your squad. He is tagged by that scout, but Keserato is eliminating all the danger. Actually, Art's doing a lot of damage. Davkos finally finishes him off. That's all he's going to get, though, and this round's over. Abel J is going to get that last frag on Coldy, and it's a 3-0 for FURIA.
Here comes the full third. First full purchase from Spirit, I should say, and it will see an AWP in the hands of Davkost.
And 4 AUGs surrounding it, which from our nuke games yesterday, you know, we all know the AUG's in a bit of a weird place at the moment with how strong it is at this price point. But nuke is one of those maps, along with Train, where I think the AUG just kind of looks the silliest. It seems to be very effective on those 2 maps. You have the range for the scopes, you have the very narrow corridors for the less recoil. Deep nade. Sotfik behind the smoke. I don't know if they realize it. ARD could be in some danger. There is also Davkost with that AWP far back covering Sotfik's back.
Yeah, it was yesterday, I believe we were casting Greyhound, and Dick Stacey in particular was incredibly strong with the AUG in ramp.
Yes.
It's one of the same reasons why you typically use an auto sniper if you are going to use it on this map in ramp. It's very easy to just spam through.
Who needs the auto sniper when you have an AUG?
Exactly. A far cheaper version. Being said, Team Spirit only have the 1 smoke left to play with, plenty of flashbangs, but also no kits. So there is weakness here for the Spirit's side. Vinny, in the meanwhile, is going to break the deadlock with his kill with the SG. Sotfik's also gone down. It's not looking good for Spirit. They're losing far too many players, hemorrhaging bodies. And now Davkost again, the last player alive with the AWP.
Yeah, he has the AWP. That's all well and good. He hasn't been able to take a shot with it. He has not been in the position to actually help his teammates out. They fell so fast on that upper bomb site. That flashbang coming in from Squeaky Door to blind the player in Mini so that the Furia players outside could wrap in and get a free kill. That is very nice teamwork from the Furia side. Those are the kind of plays that really show you why there's been some hype built up around this team, some excitement around the way they've played.
Absolutely, look like a rejuvenated team today. The pressure is very much there if they want to survive here in the Intel Extreme Masters Major. I mean, this is an elimination match if you just joined us, and Furia did pick up the first map, so Spirit is pretty simple. Let's go big or go home.
Yeah, you win or you're eliminated. 4-0. Furia got out to, what, 8-0, I believe, on their CT side of Mirage to start that opening map. Team Spirit trying to avoid that level of a disaster. Now that the losing bonus is building up, they can invest a little bit more into some of these rounds. You can see armor being picked up, upgraded pistols as well. Only Demo without armor. Lowest on the cash. Davkost still with that AWP. He needs to provide an opening. He needs to get an opening kill here in this round. If they do come outside, that would be a perfect opportunity for him. But actually, it's only 1 player out there from Furia, and he's playing pretty far back. Yuri's had a definitely a great Mirage.
Davkost trying to use his AWP to try and get them into this round, get a foothold into round 5, and he has got the first pick. The downside is he's lost a lot of his health in the process and doesn't really have much support in terms of firepower.
I like that though. Get aggressive over towards the door. Be the aggressor in the game, and actually there's a stack to watch for that kind of a push. But look at this lobby crunch. This is somehow working. That's a great shot from Davkost. Art thankfully has the bomb, and he's safe to go outside by jumping on the silos where his teammate is clearing a lot of ground. And this rotation, if Spirit isn't careful, Yuri could end everything right now. Jumping up on the roof, there's... Oh no! Sotfik, a great reaction, and the AWP can't connect either. 3 kills in the round for Sotfik to steal it away for Team Spirit. That's their first.
Just off pure aggression, Davkost through Squeaky, able to get a second in lobby. I think it caught Furia off guard to an extent, but they'll be licking their lips at the prospect of breaking back onto Spirit. That being said, because they were in effectively a half buy, their economy has spiked quite a bit. They've picked up 2 AK-47s from the corpses of Furia. Davkost just shy of $6,000. Sotfik and Dimmer both over 3,000, so they could still get some kind of a purchase in the next round if they were to lose this. And if they win, their economy is in pretty good shape. So Furia, they've got to be careful here. This could let Spirit right back into the map.
Yeah, this could be a very strong rebound for Spirit. A nice opening kill from Coldy as well. That's on Vinny. That was in towards Hut. He was able to get a frag from that position earlier in this half. How diligent is Yuri going to be? Oh, very diligent is the answer. Sodfake was able to get a shot or two off and deal some damage, but he does go down, and that's a big gap in the defense. Davkos has to cover with the op from far.
Yeah, mid-control is lacking, apart from Davkos, but he's playing more of a passive angle in the lockers. Don't have anyone on secret either. Grenade chunks K-Serato though. 50% of his health has been disintegrated. And they're now going to move in towards the ramp side, which is where Dimmet is laid in wait. Does have the AK-47 as well. He's going to chop some of those heads off if they push him. The flashbang is solid though, forces him to relocate. Davkos going to extinguish the Molotov, allowing him an angle to peek through. Did go for that shot, actually missed out.
Oh, this is cool though. FURIA, there's so little time on the clock. This is their final move. They take control of ramp, which postures and makes Spirit believe that the lower bomb site is about to be under attack, and they retreat back towards upper, but they don't have the time for this. These are great kills from Coldy, 3 so far in the round, and they weren't even aware that SDY was also in the bomb site. A nice hold from Team Spirit. FURIA wasn't able to cause enough rotations to get an easy access into that bomb site.
FURIA still in position to potentially buy though, and I think they're going to properly mull this one over. Abel J has $9,000, so he can drop no problems. Also, to just kind of calm themselves down a little bit, Spirit looking a bit hotter on this CT side of Nuke.
Benefit of that CT side, we've seen a lot of teams kind of get stalled out on this T side, right? Like we just saw yesterday, that 13-2 lead that Greyhounds took over Vitality on their CT side. So Vitality having a tough time in the offense, but then Vitality bringing it right back, thanks to an unproductive T side from Greyhound.
So already FURIA having 4 rounds would suggest that they're in, obviously still in great shape in terms of how this has started out. But even if Spirit were to win out from here, 11-4 still wouldn't be the worst case scenario for FURIA, having 4 rounds to work with. Obviously, in terms of confidence and momentum, it would be against them. But they've already got themselves a good foundations to build off. But can they add? Maybe not in this round. Sophic and Coldy using the Orcs, a devastatingly strong effect.
Yeah, that was a pretty desperate call, fast-paced towards upper when they know the defense has the money for the Molotovs and the nades, and you could see they blew open the door and they wanted to get to it, but they just stopped short. Good kill from Coldy. Nothing working well in this round for FURIA. Try and speed things up and it doesn't catch Team Spirit off guard. Now Dima again just holding the same angle. This time Yuri's going to go for a contact challenge though. Last time there was a flashbang that forced Dima off of this. And Yuri just pre-fires that angle. The op to rotate over next. I'm not sure there's a winning play in this for K-Serato and Yuri. I think the best they can do is cause some kind of economic damage.
Absolutely. It's how many players can they take with them at this stage. If they can eliminate a couple of these AK-47s, that would be excellent news. Sophic has been found, just shy of half a minute left. K-Serato has his eyes on the prize. He wants to pick this bomb up. Going pre-firing around corners, but does at least have the strength of Yuri behind him, who gets the avenging frag. Making a lot of noise, but he can't play slowly at this stage. Beautiful pre-fire, but unfortunate not to get the kill as a reward for that one. And maybe the plant to follow. They can't actually deny this. May get it right afterwards from some Die Young, but that's not a bad effort considering it was a 2v5.
Well, I mean, that's a little bit of a nightmare. That bomb just like a quarter of a second late, and he does actually die even after getting the plant, but it doesn't register because the round had already ended, so he doesn't get any bonus money out of that either. That's a tough way to go. I thought he was going to get that plant, which in my mind, would have been a victory of sorts to come out of that situation with 2 kills and a plant. That would have been beautiful, but not to be for FURIA. And I think it looks like they're going to buy again. K-Serato fully invested down to 100. Art has an AK-47. Abel J is staying at 2,500. So a mismatched buy from FURIA, and I don't know if that's a mistake, maybe some frustration of a snap buy. More of this is designed, but the money is no longer aligned across all the players. 4-3, Team Spirit looking to even things up.
I'm not sure if maybe they've misread the economy to some extent and assumed that Team Spirit have a couple of players that are exceptionally low. I mean, Caldy's on $0, but everyone else is looking pretty decent, honestly. I mean, it's this ruthless aggression that they were talking about, the non-respect style of CS. It could come back to haunt them, however. They do have the hero player of Art with his AK-47. Dimmer, again, laid in wait on the B side. Molotov's trying to cordon off Ramp, and Art is going to get the upper hand onto Dimmer. It's a great cost to his health, but he still has other players on his team with Kevlar that he can drop that to.
Great job as well from the other side, opening up that door, spamming through the floor with the deagle. That's a big kill, and can he get one more onto it? Yes, he can. The CZ does work. 2 frags. FURIA is going to steal this away. Davkos wants nothing to do with the retake at this point.
That is unbelievable. An AK and CZs besting a fully equipped Team Spirit, and Davkos is going to be fortunate that Abel J didn't check this angle. Able to get the first, but now Abel's like, hold on a second. Davkos is back in Ramp, able to get the second with the deagle. But of course the round is over in terms of it going to FURIA. But this mini story of can Davkos save? Art is going to try his best to stop that from being a reality. Can he stop this? Yes, he can. So AWP will be traded out to FURIA from Davkos. That's a big pick at the end.
That's so expensive. And that's a little bit of a gut punch if you're Team Spirit. That loss feels awful in this kind of a scenario. You're down 0-1 in an elimination series, and you lose, as you said, to CZ, some deagles, and just one AK-47. Now look how busted this buy is. Auto shotgun and SDY, which we've seen players put to good effect on this map. I think Oscar comes to mind.
Yeah, Magisk is also a player that loves to use the XM on top of the hut.
But if they lose this round, Vince, and they run out of money on the CT side at 6-3, FURIA is going to get way more rounds than they would probably need on this T side. Although we do know Nuke at times can lean towards the offensive side of the map.
We've definitely got to worry for Spirit if they were to concede this round. FURIA already in a commanding position. And will round 8 be the nightmare? Will this be the thing that keeps Spirit up at night, knowing that they had a real chance at coming back on Nuke, and they squandered it against 4 CZs and an AK-47? Davkos is going to put that to the back of his mind. He wants to steady Nuke right here, right now. Get smoked out. That means Ramp is by and large no longer under control from the CTs.
I don't think they have any idea that Yuri's in this position. Here's that auto shotgun, gets the kill. Abel J's the next one up. One shot tags him. Still a man advantage for the defense, but not for long. Yuri responds. There's the drop off the hut, and that is ill-advised. Abel has a couple seconds to react as he sees the feed first, and now they're getting a picture of where the defense is. The bomb is going to get planted. It's a 2-on-2, but Art is holding this rotation with the op. Not for long. Unfortunately, he's got the bomb, so he's got to give up that powerful angle.
Dimmer going to be flashing in, doesn't really affect either of the terrorists. Oh, Abel's able to get one, not a second, but here comes Sophic. He's going to get the 1v2 clutch. That is massive for Spirit. Yes, they're going to lose 4 players, they're going to be in a horrible position economically, but at least they've got themselves the 4th round.
Yeah, just barely holding on by the skin of their teeth in this game. It's going to be a much stronger buy, though, for FURIA in this next round, and that looked like a winnable 2-on-2 for FURIA, but they did not expect that player to come through the smoke as the player came up vents, and that, I think, just threw off Abel J just a little bit. 5-4 still in the favor of the Brazilian side. Again, the auto shotgun, again an AWP on Davkos, but this time it's no armor. He had to have that dropped over to him, swapping out a rifle to one of his teammates.
Smokes lined up, deployed outside. More smokes will be implemented. Haven't really seen FURIA aggress that many times down secret as a full 5-man unit. We've seen one player, Yuri, typically goes down there, seemingly setting up for a potential squeaky push. 3 players outside. Art making a move into hut.
The last time FURIA tried a delayed hit towards this upper bomb site, they got destroyed. And this was a position that gave them a lot of trouble. Coldy had 2 kills from that position, and now you add a shotgun into the mix getting close up. It's looking like it could be a very strong round for Team Spirit to try and solidify their position in this map.
AbleJ able to make some inroads onto Squeaky. Meanwhile, Yuri and Serato have got themselves picks. This looked like a lost cause. Davkos taking a bit of damage now. Our Spirit about to crumble. Well, the bomb has just been dropped in a horrific position.
Oh, and this is a play. You don't often call someone with an auto shotgun an assassin, but that's exactly what he's doing. 2 quick kills for him from behind. Nice aggressive play from Sumdai Young to go through lobby. All tied up now, 5-5. Team Spirit have had to work so hard for the scoreline. Props to them for sticking through the obstacles.
Exactly, but that's the thing. They've had to work this hard on the CT side, on the easier side. Statistically speaking, very few teams have more success on the T side than the CT side when it comes to nuke. So if FURIA can just keep themselves neck and neck, get a pretty close halftime score, they're in great shape. Vinido taking a bunch of nade damage outside alongside AbleJ, trying to rush down into secret. Now the smokes have been deployed, they're going to be able to scurry down there. But again, when you're against a full lineup of weapons, it's going to be a rough ask to actually get onto the site, and Dimmer is in prime position to stop them. And stop them he shall. Double spray, bomb dropped out. This round is pretty much over.
That's such a tough angle to clear out with just the pistols as well when you're trying to speed up and beat the majority of the rotations. Art gonna get dropped from an off angle by Coldy. It's just Yuri inside of the vents. He can take this gun away, and he will. That's just the auto shotgun though, so I don't think that's gonna give him a whole lot to work with, and Coldy doesn't even let him pull it out. Team Spirit take the first lead, I think, in the series.
That's correct. Yeah.
Good times.
6-5 lead. But it is going to be another bye for FURIA, so they're going to be coming straight back in this, tenacious, full of fury to make amends for the previous rounds. Spirit have their work cut out for them. It is also going to be a timeout, just to go over a few things. I'm very curious what kind of setup they're going to have here, because I completely agree. You kind of touched on this before. The delayed A hits have just not worked out. They've got plastered off grenades. It's very difficult to really make a move out there. You're looking to smoke and then try and push through the smoke, but then if they've got grenades, they're going to be landing on your head.
If you're gonna do a delayed take towards that upper bomb site, they actually had a really successful one earlier in this half, but the main brunt of the attack came from outside, right? That's when they threw the flashbang from door in towards mini. They need to get back to that if they want to do a delayed hit in upper. Coming through door and hut in the middle of the round, whenever all the defense is in their positions, it's not exactly a recipe for success. I hear a lot of explosions.
I don't see anything though. I see the players.
And those beautiful pink mice and mouse pads. Mice pads? Mouse pads.
Did hear a lot of Molotovs though, burning away.
Makes sense. There's none currently on the board. And here we go. This time going to wrap around deep. They want to go towards heaven, and it seems like that play is read by Sotfik. Good find from Coldy around the edge of that smoke, but Sotfik has gone all the way back to CT spawn. That is a hard angle to clear out.
It certainly is.
It's Davkos who's got the most pressure on him at the moment, since he's got to watch 2 different locations, right? No one actually in ramp room.
Oh, Sotfik just saw his head bob up. That call should come out now to Davkos. Art knows that he's on borrowed time, 40 seconds. This is drawing 2 of the CTs away to his position though. This is where the rest of FURIA need to start to chip together and try and do something. Art is buying them a lot of time here, but Davkos able to get one before he's traded. Dimmer will return fire. I believe he was in heaven. Now he's dropped down to the A site.
I don't think they realize there's a player that could go up heaven at the moment. AbleJ's pulling them all in that direction, but 20 seconds left. There's no real good answer. Vinny trying to make his way, and AbleJ's going to help him out. There goes Coldy, and actually they have access to the bomb site now. One player dropping in vents, but they're certainly going to get this plant. The question becomes, what can they do afterwards?
Exactly. they've now got to try and fend off a 2v3.
There's a smoke to use for the CTs as well.
Flash out of Decon, not perfect. Actually, just knocked off the wall. But Vinny's going to land a headshot all the same. Sotfik is going to return. Do they realise Able J is also in Decon? The bomb planted perfectly for him. Going to have his crosshair at aim at head height. Tickling the bomb. And Able J is going to get completely decimated by Sotfik, allowing them to get this defuse to come in and Spirit take a 2-round lead.
Yeah, really nice coordination. They lost that smoke that they could have used for the door or the bomb, and that first player who gets eliminated. Not a bad attempt from FURIA.
Are they going for another force here as well, Moses? They're going straight in.
Yeah, and you have to imagine the reasoning behind that would be that they believe the economy is at the breaking point, which it's not. So a bit of a misread from the money, I think, from Furia's side. But, you know, you get those 3 kills, you get a bomb plant as well, and you're just like, let's keep the pressure on him. There's the AUG from Sotfik outside. He was spotted. There's a gap in that smoke on the right side, so all players out here have to be careful. Is it going to be a flashbang through this, or is he just going to... Oh, my God, he hasn't checked. He hasn't even looked to his right. This is awkward as all hell, and Sotfik's going to come out on top, and that is going to be a bit of a surprise. I would imagine that Art jumped out of his chair.
I wonder if Sotfik did, too. It's kind of a jump scare for the two of them. Like, oh, holy crap, there's a guy right next to me. But in doing so, that has now severely weakened and hampered Furia's aggression outside, any kind of presence they were looking for. I mean, it is one way to take the top site, is to try and wrap around into heaven from outside or get through main. Now that one of those players has been dealt with, we're going to see another delayed, prolonged A hit. Is this one going to yield more? Slightly so far, because the nades weren't quite in position, but Sundai Young flicks across for 2. Keserato with his Mac 10's able to get a kill, also somehow survives. But this is against 3. And Dimma had already made a move into lobby to cut him off.
Really nice performance from Sundai Young on top of the hut. That second kill, he had to flick over. He had to track that a long way. While you bring that up, the ability to wrap around outside towards above heaven to flank that upper bomb site, Spirit's actually done a really good job of having always some player with eyes on that ladder, eyes on outside. The All-Pro has been playing very, very far back. Davkos, whenever he's been outside, he's been playing towards those spawn boxes, playing towards those windows. You've usually had a rifle out there to help him as well. So they've done a good job of neutralizing that element of Furia's attack. Furia do half investment. They have a losing bonus building up. There's going to be 1 round left in the half after this, and they're just going to make sure they have a very solid buy for said round. And actually, if you think about it, this has been a great half from Team Spirit in terms of the gun rounds. Remember, if they didn't have that hiccup of losing to the Deagles and the CZs earlier on, this could be a much stronger victory, but unfortunately, Furia was able to steal one away at that point. And actually a chance to steal one away here. This round has gotten all sorts of crazy. I don't think they realize anyone's in heaven. Just as I mentioned how good they've been at it, now they spot him out, and Art has pretty restricted mobility.
It's all about where Able J is, though, because Art is gone. He's going to die. It's not a question of if, but when, and it's going to be right now, courtesy of gravity.
Oh dear.
Falls to his death. Able J, though, able to rummage a bomb plant. Maybe can outmaneuver the CTs. This could get interesting with the CZ. All 12 bullets in the magazine. There's the first, going to spot Sundai Young, who was going for the defuse. Just wanted to double check to make sure he wasn't sticking it, and now he has that information. But the Molotov's going to be an issue. Oh, the second he's actually picked up the second one, but the Molotov's going to burn him out, and the defuse was just round the side of the silo. I don't think Able J, even the Molotov wasn't there, could have stopped that.
You've got to admire that. You've got to admire that play from Able J. The 2 great kills in that 1 versus 3, and just going back into the flames, knowing he was going to die, but hoping he would just have... He even had time to get off, I think, 2 or 3 bullets when he was in the fire. So if he wasn't behind that silo, that could have been an opportunity for him to stop that defuse, and he's just trying to be Rambo.
It nearly worked out for him. Instead, though, we are going through to the final round of the half. 9-5. Spirit have definitely bounced back with authority, but they are going to concede the first kill. Coldy is also going to get ripped to shreds from Keserato's SG point blank range. Some die young. Cheeky push, gets rewarded for it, able to scamper away too. But with all that being said, all the action clears. FURIA do have a player advantage. Make that 2 now.
Yeah, FURIA is loving this, although that push in towards Squeaky Door is great from SDY. He's gathered so much information that he's able to pass on over to Dima, who's still outside. He needs to connect these shots. He's so low. Now he's blind, but he's still alive for the moment. That's a great shot through the window. Yuri just barely misses, and Dima has 1 HP he survives on. This is actually still very difficult. That's a smart smoke. So you can cross into the bomb site. And SDY wants to come right through it, I think. That's bold. But he's found a gap. FURIA has hit the pause button. There's plenty of time still on the clock. They would love to have any information of where this defense is positioned.
Just a case of fortune favouring the brave. He knows his teammate is low, had to make a play, had to force the issue. He's got a second kill to boot. His 3rd in the round. Bomb's been dropped. Keserato. He's going to get him though. Dead to rights. Had no idea where the final player was coming from. Some die young. 25 seconds left. More than enough time to trickle down to the B site. And Dima, the 1 HP dream.
And with that 1 HP, he had gone to the lower bomb site and just turtled up. His entire goal, because he has a lack of HP, was just to stop the plant, but that's unfortunate. Rotates out of position, and now a near impossible task for Dima.
Keserato's also taken the high ground, which makes it that much more difficult now. At this stage, Dima just has to gamble, just has to hope for the best, pre-fire every angle you possibly can, and it's not going to happen. FURIA will stop the winning streak, but 6 rounds on Nuke T side is a really solid performance.
Yeah, they've got to be happy about that. It's 9-6 in the favor of Spirit, a much better start on this map than the first. We'll see if they can complete and take us to a map 3 when we return from the break. Potentially one last half for Team Spirit. One final chance to continue on in this tournament. They must win this map if they want to force a 3rd map and stay alive. FURIA has got them backs against the wall. 6 rounds on your T side. You got to be pleased with that one. Now, FURIA has won all 3 pistol rounds that we've had in this series so far. Spirit desperately needs one themselves.
They really do. It has been a massive factor as to why FURIA have been so successful so far in this best of 3. The amount of rounds they've got off the back of that must be nearly 10. So Team Spirit got to hold on for dear life. In terms of their strategy, we're not going to see any rapid rush through the likes of Squeaky. This is more laboured, more slow paced. Now they're going to start to make a move outside. Not all 5 of them though. Sophic is watching the back. Fury need Yuri to really step up to the plate from Heaven. He does spot a few players, but he decides to back away and let the terrorists come to him. Try and use the more favourable angle to his expectations, but there's 3 players peeking him. There's nothing he can do about that. The even trades go back and forth, but the bomb is now going to start to get planted. Coldy's going to get himself a kill onto Abel J, and Daft Cost onto Vinny. It's looking very poor for FURIA. This should be Spirit's first pistol round.
Nicely done from Spirit. I was wondering if FURIA was going to be prepared for that kind of a rat play, but you could tell they didn't have any contingencies planned for that outside. It's very rare you see the Glocks wrap all the way around towards Heaven. FURIA probably had plenty of plans if they went down secret, plenty of plans if they turned in towards Mini, but they didn't have any rotations designed to stop that kind of a play from Team Spirit. Nice little twist on that strategy.
A multi-layered strategy at that. The triple peek in Heaven was a really cool touch.
Even if you notice the 2 Glocks that come down to make the initial push towards Heaven, the P250 went behind the red box, stayed at range. The long-range weapon trying to help them out in case there was any CTs peeking at that range. The P250 would have been able, was designed to help them. Full investment in the second round for FURIA, and at the moment they're going to be in the lead in HP in this round as the Scout tags Sotfik down to 12 HP.
Yeah, Art's got that shut off for free. Everyone on FURIA very much healthy and ferocious, ready to stand their ground to the bitter end. Abel J fires off a shot, does take a little bit of damage, but it's negligible at best. Now he's going to get forced. What can he do? Does land a deagle shot onto Davkost, who drops to 20.
I'm starting to feel very uncomfortable for Team Spirit in this round. 2 players are just 1 shot away from death, and they've gained nothing for that loss in HP. They haven't gained any ground outside. Now look at this crossfire setup. Molotov goes in deep. Yuri's not bothered whatsoever. It should be 1 from him, but it's not. The SMG now, that starts to roll. It needs a second and it gets it. Now things get confusing. The Scout fires, but K. Serrato's still alive, and no one knows he's here, but he peeks out too wide. Huge kill for Coldy, and the deadliness of this FURIA defense is forced back as Abel J is stuck in the vents.
I felt like K. Serrato didn't need to push the aggression there. Could have let Spirit walk into the trap. The consistent smokes in main's going to make it impossible for Art to have any kind of impact now. And Abel J decides to piece out of there and save the weapons. Seems like they've given up on this round.
There's no reason for him even to try to come up the vent if his teammate can't make it in through Midi, if he can't cause some kind of a distraction. Spirit's really lucky to get out of that one. And you're right, looking back on it, if K. Serrato watches this demo again of this replay and he sees that he'll realize he overextended himself with that kind of a peek. Oh, that would be a big kill if he could have gotten it. But it's hard to stop yourself from making that play in the moment. You know, a tense situation, playing for your tournament life at the major, and you're watching your teammates battle, and you're watching them fall, and you're not involved in the action whatsoever. Timing just not with K. Serrato.
Yeah, you're going to get that itchy trigger finger. But now FURIA have to be a bit more patient. They're not going to have a full buy until the next round. Couple Desert Eagles have been picked up. Team Spirit in very good shape at this stage on Nuke. And of course, if we need it, the third map will be Cash, which is a tantalising prospect between these 2 teams. I think it's going to be all-out chaos if we have to go there. But for the here and now, Spirit have got to get themselves into that position first off. And Vinny has chipped away at Davkost. Here's a 4-on-4.
That's a nice stack outside to find a pick, and it's a smart decision by Team Spirit to just kind of fall back a little bit. Even if they come back towards this, at least make FURIA sweat out the timer. Holy hell, Abel J. 1 more for your troubles. He's going for it. Dima's so low at 16 HP, even at that range, doesn't even want to take the fight. Still, around this 1 deagle, there's Vinny with 1, but he's got no armor, and a couple of USPs with no armor. So still an opportunity for Team Spirit, even if they're a man down, to keep this in control.
Time on their side for now. Can quickly turn against them if they don't get a move on, though. Some shots from Hell going to be whizzing past the heads of Spirit as they move down onto the B side. Yuri's going to be there to greet them. Remember, Dina is very low, so his USP is going to be more than good enough to finish off this kill. If he can land one through the smoke, but not quite. The bomb has been planted. Sundai Young can hear footsteps around him, hear the jumping up and down of the oncoming CT. The flashbang is good, and the trade is even better for Furia. Dima still alive, but it's going to be down to Colby more than likely, and that really is with his AK-47. Has a spray on point, able to get the triple spray in at the end, and Spirit do just about hold on by a thread. 12-6 score.
Colby's a hero in that round. What a sequence for him. Those 3 kills, yeah, unarmored, yeah, they just have the pistols, but he was the last man standing between a disaster. Either way, that pistol round, and Spirit converts the ensuing 2. But now the AUGs come out. Now the AWP comes out in Art's hands. Maybe a small detail, that one blinded MAC-10 player who got dispatched, he was able to finalize a kill on the one armored opponent. Now an upper rush. K Serrato with the first kill of 2 players stacked up in this bomb site, and oh, they're going to handle it perfectly. Great job by Fury, even through the smoke. Fast-paced rush towards upper. Neither team is being successful with it.
Oh, Dav Cost with the spray through the smoke, nearly yielding a kill, but instead gives his position away. His days were numbered anyway. And Furia, their first proper full buy, of course they did full buy earlier, but it was with scouts and pistols. The first time they've got a very healthy full buy, they are successful, and convincingly so. Maybe putting some doubt in the back of Spirit's mind. This is where things turn, though. We've discussed this yesterday too. Once the Molotovs, nades, all the utility comes in, it makes it a lot harder for the terrorists to force and impose their will.
And even lovelier for Furia is the fact that they did so much damage. Even after losing the pistol in the second and third rounds, they did enough damage to where, yeah, they just won their first gun round, and all of a sudden Spirit's got to go back to pistols. I'm pretty sure K Serrato is going to call that out, spotted it. Certainly Davkos takes an awkward route in the smoke, but it's handled nicely. That's less nice, is one player gets down the vent, and he does have the bomb as well. And there goes Vinny.
Sundai Young gets a consolation kill.
Pretty nice shot, all things considered, as well.
It was very nice. Can he double up now? Can he actually make this thing a little bit more for Furia? Yes, he can. Emphatically through the hole of Squeaky. Splatters Art's head.
That was a power shot. You could feel it.
That's a spine-chilling moment for Furia as well, because now they know they've reached that threshold that any more kills is going to hurt them long-term. They have to play way more passively and solidly at this stage. That's also the AWP down on the ground. They should be able to retrieve it. What's most awkward about this is I believe the bomb is down in the lower site, and Able J is the only one there. The other 2 players still holding on to their positions in upper. I think they want to move down below to just cover the bomb. SUI could actually get pretty clever here. I think he's wrapping around to try and get that AWP off the ground. He could even choose to save it, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but not anymore. They know exactly where he is. Through the vents, K Serrato does find him. That would have been pretty clever. Wrapped all the way around, picked up the AWP, because he had plenty of money to be able to get armor and nades in the next round. They could have just swapped for an AK-47. Alas, it's not to be, Vince. It wasn't, but he can look back fondly on the memories of landing those beautiful 1-deeks. Yeah. Crushing skulls. Tear in his eye. Yeah, those were the days. Now he's going to focus on the task at hand. That Spirit still have a 4-round lead. Yes, Furia in better shape. Starting to steady this half. K Serrato, identical position to what we've seen a couple times already. Will they check this angle? No, they won't. And Yuri's also chipped in for a kill. Art did go down outright, but Yuri, with a triple stack outside, is able to just completely sweep this away under the rug. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Davkos does have control of the bomb. Decides he just wants to try and get this economy ticking forward. Gonna fake it out, actually. Is assuming someone was already in decon.
Oh, his teammates are crying at the moment. This plan is going to be so hard to get. That Molotov isn't going to save him. Yeah. Vinny's going to come right through it. 12-9. Furia's closed the gap to 3, and they've looked solid doing it. And now you get into the kind of, this is a couple rounds now we've had K-Serrano pushed up outside. And that starts to get into like the psychological aspect of this. If you're Spirit and you want to go outside and that's where you want to hang your hat on the T side to gain control of outside, and they've been so aggressive and they've shut you down so emphatically, you try to fast-paced upper, they shut you down emphatically there as well. Starting to limit your options. You're going to have to go back outside and take that fight and eventually win it.
Which is exactly what they're hoping to do here, but it is just with pistols. And
I think two people threw the same smoke.
Yeah,
you could see him just stop and be like, "Oh God!" And that's the smoke that they wanted to use to get the bomb planted lower. So even if they have success of getting here, one, there's already the rotation from Able J. But two, they just don't have the utility to safely get the bomb down.
Able J should be padding his stats here. There's one. Ooh, some die young. This man is quite the beast with the Desert Eagle. Could afford them a chance to now get the bomb planted, but it was out.
I'm confused.
Isolated. Yeah, me too. Why isn't Coldy down with the rest of his teammates there?
Why is he just running back?
I mean, surely he didn't have the idea of rotating back to A. That would have been madness. SDY looking to clip him with some more 1-deeks. Davkost going to help him out with the AK, but at this stage, FURIA have the advantage in terms of grenades, going to use them to their utmost potential.
Now you start thinking, if the bomb wasn't dropped in the middle of nowhere for no reason, and Davkost able to salvage that AK-47, you might have been able to make something out of this if that had gone down. That Molotov just missed time by about a half second. SDY going to get risky. There's the Molotov out. The bomb actually drops closer to FURIA, which is going to make them happy. Good kill from Davkost, but K-Serrano not going to miss that shot. Good damage done to the economy in a round where you didn't really have a whole lot to fight with if you're Spirit, but FURIA is still holding on.
That always melts your brain a little bit when it just seems so random where the bomb goes. It's like, in your final dying moment, your decision is, I'll throw the bomb as hard as I can to my enemy.
The wrong direction.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks for that. Timeout from Spirit. They probably felt pretty happy with, what, a 12-6 lead at one point. Now that has dwindled. I think it's 12-10. Not ideal.
9-6 after the first half. They won the second pistol, their first pistol of this best of 3. As you say, 12-6 was looking really solid, but then FURIA's economy ticked in. And since then, it's been pretty one-sided. That actually was the closest round that we've seen since FURIA got their hands on weapons. And it was a bit of a scrappy round, ultimately. But Spirit still have a 2-round lead. They're going to have to do something with it, though. It feels like the momentum and the way, the energy of where this game's been going has shifted drastically from Spirit to FURIA now.
Oh, yeah, certainly. This is a bit risky from Art, though. Oh, and he just wanted that pick. Now he's got to get away, but very exposed as he tries to readjust his angle. Again, this smoke wall, someone's lost their mind. Admirable from Sotfik to try and, I guess, make the run.
Is someone just whiffing it? Because the smoke that Dimmer just went through seems a bit off.
It must be someone forgetting that they're supposed to throw that third smoke, or that second smoke in that wall, right? Everyone's throwing that first smoke, and that's happened twice now, so obviously a miscommunication, obviously someone forgetting exactly their role.
That's an unbelievable oversight, though. I mean, surely at this stage, after this round, you call a timeout and you say, look, let's establish who throws which smoke. Let's get this right, please.
It's just like, guys, I don't care who's making the mistake.
Yeah.
Who knows the second smoke in the wall? Someone please step up to the plate.
Because this is an integral part of T's side of Nuke. Even if you're not going to push outside, being able to fake that you are can change the dynamic of where the CTs hide. And, no, you are going to get punished. No knife today.
That's a fine. Take $5,000 off his paycheck.
Especially if Spirit end up winning this round.
Well, I mean, yeah. Certainly that. It's still a long way off, but even just if he gets another kill, the economic damage, the implications of that down the stretch. Yeah, I don't know. I can never tell with Brazilians if that kind of a yell out of the coach is an angry one, or if that's like a motivational one.
Maybe a bit of both.
Yeah, but someone certainly, I don't know if he actually saw what Art did there, but that certainly is like, no more of that.
Yeah, for sure.
You're not config.
I need to know if Spirit are going to fix that problem. If it's something they could have just discussed quickly in the last few seconds, the freeze time, the buy time of this round.
It would be a disaster if no one actually knows that smoke and they just can't go outside for the rest of this half. That would be wild. Abel J, they all line up for him. He's going to hold down the trigger, able to get 4 USPs out, but Dima stops the ace from coming through. But a great round from Abel J. Shuts down most of the danger. Art's going to finish it off.
Excellent spray control. Was, of course, against a full eco. Not much armor, if any. But still, you can only beat what's ahead of you, and he did that with ease. So, we are tied up now, Moses, from 12-6 to 12-12. And I just don't see anything that Spirit can offer that can really get them over the finish line at this stage. I think they've run into a bit of a dead end.
It does seem that way. I mean, certainly we don't have to harp on the issue. We'll see if they figure it out. Oh, it could be actually, we might have been painting Spirit in a bad light. That could be the Molotov trick. As the CTs show the Molotov on the ground. Might not be Spirit's problem whatsoever. So for those of you who might be not well versed in Counter-Strike, if you throw a Molotov in the right place on the ground where the smoke bounces, it's going to extinguish that Molotov and it won't bounce into the proper place. So that might be exactly what's happening.
Definitely need to keep our eyes on that. I haven't seen that perfectly.
Yeah, we haven't seen that POV. We've always been in the POV that just shows the silliness.
But if that's true, that is some next level tactics from FURIA. Art, I haven't really seen him peek up from Squeaky, or Secret indeed, so far, but he's going to get the upper hand with that kill. Vinny flashed out, is going to return with one of his own. Try and stymie this push, and K Serrato has his back covered. The bomb's been dropped once again, and FURIA are looking to take the lead. And it's going to be all too easy. Darkos giving his position away, and it's a clean sweep of a round 2.
I love this coach.
He's so animated. I love this.
Kicking the walls.
And the players look very chill and relaxed at the moment. Obviously, if they win, that's going to change very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
But this coach he's really trying to rally the troops. Got a lot of respect for that.
But I like that. That's a lesson that I think a lot of teams and players have to learn, making that jump from, tier 2 events to a major or just semi-pro to pro. I know a lot of North American players and teams had to go through it over the years. You got to make sure your highs aren't too high and your lows aren't too low, and just to do that is just to find some middle ground where you can just be measured throughout the whole match. Seems like FURIA has found that.
Sure, striking that balance. And, well, it's the first time that they've been in the lead for a little while. And what a time to overtake. The fact of the matter is that Spirit are 3 rounds away, 3 round losses away from being out of the major. This is an elimination match. They did lose the first map, and we did just see there as well, Moses. Very kindly, our observer was showing us a Molotov was thrown early, and as a result, I think Spirit have changed the timing of their smokes to allow them to get the smoke wall implemented. So fair enough. I take it back, Spirit. That was FURIA being next level. Give credit where it's due.
If you are listening to this replay, we apologize.
We didn't see from the perspective, but that is a sick play from FURIA, and it's great that Spirit have also adapted to that too. Now they've changed their timings, they've got the smoke wall out, now they can move downstairs.
Can they ever? Great headshot from Dima, and that was the only player down lower. Where's the next rotation coming in? Because nobody's here. This looks like it's going to be a free bomb site. No one's even really budged. Everyone being very cautious of not rotating into someone's crosshair. But that means they can't really stop this plant from going down. Art is here. He's smoked and Molotoved off, even taking damage to get into this position. There's the jump out the window. Waiting for one player. The double peek coming up the ramp and out the door. And I think FURIA, they might have to just choose to save this, which might be a tough pill to swallow, but I think they've just got to do it definitely now that Yuri goes down. Art's going to lose the AWP. This is turning expensive now as well. They do have a lot of cash, but a great round from Dima. 3 kills so far, including the entry. Oh, and he's going to add a 4th onto it. That's a dirty round. I was going to say, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's a cool tactic from FURIA that we see actually pretty frequently from top teams, that Molotov trick outside. It just took so long for Spirit to adapt to it. This is very late in the half.
Of course, a more noticeable and seen one, because Marges has played far more, is the window Molotov. The Fallen typically coined in window, where you throw it down, it stops the smoke from blocking you out. There's a small gap that you can then fire up across from. So this time FURIA actually don't go for that Molotov, and Katowice is going to play up close again.
He gave up his aggressive stance, though. Fired a little bit too early, so now look at the response. It looks like Spirit, they want to get out. Oh, he's burning. SDY, is that going to spread to him? Oh my god, I cannot believe he's found a safe spot in the Molotov. Vini gets picked off. No one in the upper bomb site. They're blocked off by the smoke due to the aggression outside. Even the Molotov in towards heaven. It's going to miss its mark. But SDY is watching for that. Spirit have regained some power in this map. And these weapons now definitely have to be saved, as the money is running so low for the Brazilian defense.
Very unfortunate for FURIA. If SDY ends up being burnt from that Molotov, he doesn't get the kill onto heaven. And things can change so drastically at that stage. But that is Counter-Strike, sometimes a matter of millimeters. Team Spirit will regain the lead. It was looking like it was a lost cause. Now FURIA, it's their turn to stew on what's been happening over these last few moments. He's going to save the AWP and plenty of finances to go alongside it.
They could disable all outright.
I wonder what the call's going to be now from the CTs. Are they going to try playing aggressively outside again?
I mean, this has to be their bread and butter. This has to be them making a defensive call that is the round that they can most rely on the CT side, because they're out of cash. Or they're very, very low on cash, not completely out. It's also the round that Team Spirit can get to map point. You want to prevent that at all costs. 23 kills on Katowice, 23 kills on Yuri. Having very, very good games.
So Art is going to take a different angle this time. Not quite in secret that the off angle has been successful. Davkost laid to rest. And Art is able to change his direction of attack.
High risk, high reward. This time it goes the way of the reward, but he's got to be careful. He has no idea Dima is in that corner. The timing on that peak is going to be huge. Dima can lurk this AWPer. That means, though, as long as he's here and as long as he's waiting to make his move, there's really only 3 players on Team Spirit who can have an impact on the round.
I believe Yuri is also outside, so there's no reason for him to peek anymore from the side. I think Yuri's now actually made a move in. That puts Art into a bit more of a sketchy position. And the reason he's going back and forth is, of course, if you're up on top of the main area on the roof, you can actually drop down and get into main very quickly. So he's trying to watch his teammates back. Flashbang up, not really going to affect Art that much. But time is also dwindling now. Spirit have got to start to make inroads. They're going to decide that ramp is the place where they can get success, and the bomb has been dropped but instantly salvaged by SDY, who gets the kill into Able J, and they're going to make a straight up charge to the B site, and no one's there to stop them right now, although they do have a player moving into decon, which will be Vinny, but he can't see the bomb planter. The grenade doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as I thought it would inflict to SDY. Maybe just caught the wall beforehand. But FURIA do have the advantage in this retake. Player ahead, they have a Molotov and a few flashbangs. Colby in control room, flicks across. That would have been a disgusting double kill and could have just outright won the round for them. SDY has been mollied out of position and they have both been plucked out. FURIA do live in this round and claim it for themselves. We're going the full distance, the full 30 rounds.
That is a beautiful retake from FURIA. We saw a great one as well on Mirage. They are very patient in those, typical of Brazilian Counter-Strike, effective and calculated. Molotovs in all the right positions to make that retake easier. Good trade over towards the staircase also. Another tactical coming out. You can imagine why. Heading into round 29. Spirit would love to at least be in a position to reduce some of the pressure in regulation. Just get to 15 and make sure that you have a chance to win this map, or you at least can play in the overtime. Plant's going to help out with the money. Fist bumps all around.
The pressure truly on. Fighting for survival, both teams. Will be our first eliminated team from the major. Both squads have a very healthy dosage of firepower, grenades, everything they could ask for. Deciding to opt for the full AKs instead, and Yuri's going to get 2! Is Coldy running outside with a nade out there?
Yeah, both of those players, I think, had their knives out, which is so weird. This is not the round you want to make that mistake, and Art's going to pick one off. That's a very narrow gap. That's the bomb on the ground, and Team Spirit. This is a disaster of epic proportions. Davkos trying to do what he can, but there's no reason for too many players to be sticking around. Those are 2 great kills, though. A 2-on-3, and all of a sudden this is doable. They haven't lost a whole lot of health for their trouble, and actually everyone from FURIA rotated into ramp and downstairs. Davkos has control of the upper bomb site. They need to get back right now. Started to make the rotation happen, but they're too late to stop the plant. There is a real chance here for Spirit to somehow win this out in a 2 versus 5. Davkos has given them the opportunity.
Excellent fires by Davkos, trying to remedy the situation after a horror story of an opening 20 or so seconds. SDY not going to get the drop. Can Davkos be the hero they desperately require? He's been tagged from the side and just too many players, too many angles to cover. Now FURIA will be taking the 15th round and have 1 match point. Or elimination point, I guess you could say, for Team Spirit.
Yeah, definitely. Elimination point, and even, I mean, maybe even just survival point. And there's going to be that last timeout taken, I think, by Spirit. Talk things over. That plan is going to help with the money. They had plenty, I think, to get a buy off, but the extra $800 is going to help out with the utility in a big, big way. I'm astounded that I just saw 2 players running on the silo with their knives out.
Completely agree.
Just 3 kills.
Maybe trying to get there quicker, but I mean, you've got to assume Art has played in Garage quite a few times with the AWP. It's an obvious position that you hide behind. It's to the right of Garage, behind the boxes. You're going to have an AWP there, you're going to have an AUG there. Especially an AUG now that it's so flavor of the month. Why would you even take that risk when so much is on the line?
Yeah, either way, Davkos almost bailed him out of a really, really tough spot. Heroic effort out of him to even find the openings for the plant. It all comes down to this. Round 30, 14-15 in the favor of FURIA. Team Spirit need to bring this to overtime or else they are eliminated from IEM Katowice, the 14th major. I guess Yuri again is like, yeah, I mean, it was so easy last time, I'll just go back.
No reason not to have a peek from there again. Here comes the smoke wall. Art misses out. That's a shot he should be landing. It was a gimme.
The question is where he wants to go from here. You can fight a retreating battle as the AWPer at various angles. This is a tough one to deal with for the terrorist coming down these stairs. He can get this pick and just fall away. There it is, and he's got another one. A very similar shot here, but they jumped around the corner. Now he's in a little bit of trouble. He's got to stop in the open. He's dead. Oh, he gets away. Somehow goes back for more, though. He did not know how much time he had, and even Vinny almost rotates straight into his death.
Art is going to be disappointed he didn't do more with those opportunities. Had 2 or 3 chances to snap off any hope of Spirit taking this round down. Yuri, a position we haven't really seen them use as of yet. On the B site, could maybe catch them off guard. SDY has been destroyed down to 5 health. Coldy's going to try and hold the control room door for now. And now Yuri's able to strike. It's the bomb going in first, and again, it's dropped out into the open. Your terrorists have got to get in there somehow and retrieve this bomb, and they're taking so much damage in the process. This could be all she wrote for Spirit. They could be getting eliminated right now, and they are. They will not play any further part on IEM Katowice, and FURIA live to fight another day.
That's a really nice showing on both maps. First, the dominant win on Mirage, and then this one was grinded out, coming back from